again for another hour of Heart Health with Bobbie, right here on Dialogues with Jagero. Today I'm here with Felly Oyuga.
Yes.
Hi, Felly.
Hi, Dr. Fred.
Oh, that feels
How are
so
you?
nice. Call me that again.
Dr. Fred, Dr. Fred.
That feels so nice.
Oh, how are you?
I'm good. I feel good.
Yeah? How's your
Felly.
soul?
My soul. Thank you for asking me that question.
Yeah, somebody asked me and I realized,
We never really check
never
up on
really
each other
check.
like Leo Kweli.
No.
Have you watched Straw the movie?
oh my God.
Before we get there, let me tell you how my soul is.
Yes.
I'm very relaxed. I think I'm very happy. Generally,
Yes.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Sina mambo, sina vikwazo. How is your soul?
My soul is okay for most parts. And with everything going around and going on, it's a bit weary. Yeah, I feel sorry. I feel bad. I feel guilty for the world we are living for our kids.
How do you mean? Because of the state of the country?
The state of the country, the state of the whole world, the state of people. If you can live in a place where somebody can take somebody's child and slaughter like a chicken, and go home.
To their own kids.
To
and
their own
laugh with
kids.
them
And even touch them. I mean, we have become so un-African because an African would not do that. You'd not even want to go near your child because you know what you've done. The weight of the things that you've done, you'd not want to pass it to your child. But so what are we saying about ourselves, our children, other people's children? Who are we as a society? Yeah, so it's heavy. It's heavy. You look at your own kids and you pray and you say, may other people have empathy, compassion, love for my children. So it's one of those where you are literally.
I like that you're bringing it up because it's important that, we use our platforms and our spaces to call out injustice.
Yes.
Especially in the society. And it's very unfair because it's scary. It's scary.
It is. When did we reach here? When did it become okay? Because we shouldn't be here. We should, with all we know, with where we've come from. Some of us were there in the Nyayo era. And we were privy to some, news and things. So you'd think that we would have moved to something else. You'd think we'd be better humans. You'd think we would move along with our brains. You'd think we'd move with our souls. But, oh my God.
You see Africans acting this way.
And the worst part is when I was seeing those kids out on the road, chanting and some crying, some, all the emotions that were going on. And it occurred to me, imagine this is not apartheid. This is not slavery they're fighting against.
It's amongst ourselves.
Yes. Can you believe that?
That's so
That is
crazy.
So messed up that we would go through all these years only to now be fighting for our lives against ourselves. Yeah. So something has to change.
It like that. That's so crazy.
It is.
I asked you if you watched Straw because you asked me how is your soul, and just tell me what do you think about the movie? I'm curious.
So so there's many things. One, I'd like to say that an artist's creation is a reflection of their society. So people don't just pull things out of their ass and say, oh, I think I feel like doing, something. So if you look at any work of art at any point in time, it's been about what it is that they have been going through or what is, So the artists, that's why artists are important in a society because they reflect.
Kio cha jamii.
Yes. That said, you hear very many people say, Tyler Perry is profiting off people's trauma. I think we are scared of seeing ourselves. Because
especially
that's what we
black
are.
Women.
Yes. Not just even black women, the whole society. Because that's who we are. That's how we are treating single mothers. Because why would a woman go through such hell as if she lives in a vacuum? Where neighbors, where is family, where is the church, where is the mosque, where is the synagogue, whatever it is, where is your work community, where are just women in general, strangers, because there was a time in society you would not be able to do that. You didn't live alone. Yeah. So what has happened to us? You see, and all this comes into play. That's what I was saying, it's so heavy. Because all this is it. This is who we are. We are literally looking at ourselves. So if you cannot watch Straw, or if you look at it and think, somebody's profiting, and you have, how can they do that? They're profiting off her pain, whatever. What you are saying to yourself is that you cannot stand to look at your reflection. That is who you are.
And they probably see it and glaze over it.
Yes, they
thinking,
know
how
somebody
can this be a
else.
reality?
Yes, and even for the people who are showing remorse, I still have a problem with those, because you have a neighbor, you have a sister, you have a cousin, you have a friend. Yes, you have those people in your circle somewhere, and you've never done anything for them. Most of us would say, that woman can't even keep a husband. Wamelaniwa. That woman, she must be a prostitute. No, she's not easy to live with. She has anger issues. She's second-hand goods. She's, I don't know this, she's that, she's this, the other. We all know that lady. What did they call her? Something. I can't
Janaya.
Janaya, yeah. We all know her Janaya. Yeah. The trauma might be different, but of course, left unchecked gets to that point. There are so many women. You can't tell me you have never been walking on the streets of Nairobi and not seen a woman crying. She's just walking and crying. Yeah, you can't say you've never been in a matatu and seen a woman in tears. Sometimes she doesn't even have 5 shillings.
Confused.
Yes, clothes inside out. Gone to work, and she reaches there and you can see she forgot to comb her hair.
We judge them.
Thank you. So if you're feeling some kind of way like, I couldn't watch that, this is, I don't know what, or some people are even going as far as to say, you are what you watch. Yes, because it's what you are. Everything that you see put out there is a reflection of society. Even porn. Yeah, that deviant, some of them, when you see them sleeping with dogs and sleeping whatever, all that.
It's because it exists.
It exists.
Yeah.
They didn't pull it out of their ass. Yeah, so unless it is Star Trek, where now you can find most of those people. In fact, that guy for Star Trek, I don't know if you've watched the things that are coming out about him, but you can see. Yeah. So never take any work that is put out for granted. There's something. Yeah, so it's either a mirror, or that person is crying out for help, but something is happening. Yeah, and I think Tyler Perry has taken it upon. I don't know him for shit, of course.
So, of course, on a personal level. Yeah.
So, but just outside looking in, and maybe from some interviews of his that I've listened to, he's from a product of a single mom and what have you. It might be his way of giving his mother a voice.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think people don't understand, and especially for kids who have seen their mothers especially suffer, they always, you'll find that they want to give their mothers voices. I'll give an example, and this guy has gotten a lot of flack for it, but the late Ngugi wa Thiong'o's son, even before Ngugi wa Thiong'o died, there was a time he came up and he was very upset about what he thought was like almost the erasing of his mother, or she was becoming invisible in the whole
Ngugi wa Thiong'o metaverse.
Yes. Yeah. And he was not, he wanted his mother to have a voice, and people couldn't understand it. You don't respect your father, you don't do this. Again, remember, it's because you're looking at yourself. That is why you have a problem with it. That you are projecting that this, because you know what you have done to somebody else's mother. So now you are trying to silence him in the hopes that your people will also keep quiet when it's your turn.
That's so true.
Yeah, because those children will come back and say, I want my mother's voice heard. I don't want my mother's pain to go silent. Yes. She will not just pass through this world quietly. Yeah, if she didn't have a voice, I'm going to amplify that voice. And I think that's what Tyler Perry is doing. Yeah. So let's check ourselves. Yeah.
I love your review. Very refreshing as always.
Thank you.
Always helping us see the different perspective. But the conversation we're having today is a bit very different from that.
Yes.
I just asked you that because you asked me how's your soul, and there's a commentary of Taraji giving about the movie where she says, when you ask people how they are, actually care.
Yes.
Don't just ask like,
Hi, how are
passing,
you?
I'm good. Like ask.
Yes.
So when you asked me how is your soul, I felt okay. Wow. Took me. I had to take a moment to think how really is my
Yes.
soul,
Yes.
and that's truly beautiful. So thank you for that.
Welcome, daughter friend.
I don't think you understand the fireworks that you're setting inside me when you do that. So today I want us to discuss the soft life. We're seeing a lot of emergence of people on the internet, especially
Yes.
coming up, and they're really showing us this nice, flashy lives that they're living. I mean, where they're getting their wealth is, subject to different opinions. But I'd like for us to dive a bit into this lifestyle and to talk about it, because it's important that we have real life conversations, especially since the girls and the women are watching us and they're thinking, how is Felly at the beach every weekend? How is Felly able to be in Zanzibar all the time? How is she doing her hair all the time? Where is she getting those beautiful jewelries and necklaces? And why is she Anato Wapi? I find that a lot of us, especially women, I think in the African setting, it's actually taboo, almost taboo to discuss money. But when we take it further, as a woman, talking about where you get your money from
is another thing.
Hiyo hata ni kitu haiko, what hata taboo.
Ni God manze.
We all have the same 24 hours and other stories. So I'd like for us today to be a little bit transparent, talk to the girls and make them see, what is it? How are we getting this life? Is it real? Is it feasible? Is it, achievable? Is it a lie?
Yeah.
What is it? So tell me maybe your general overview.
So it's an interesting topic. Of course, we've always, I think like for my age mates, it's pretty interesting because we come from two worlds. We came from a world where first we didn't know whether we were poor or rich because there was nothing to compare to. Really, we didn't have, the social media that you could see. By the time you are getting something from the States, for example, it was months. By the time it reached here.
That's a high matter because
it doesn't
nobody
even
has
matter.
It here.
Yeah, so we didn't really care. So we were almost at par. You couldn't really tell what's what. In fact, somebody another day was saying, do you know when we went to school with MP's kids and whatever, and we were going to city council school those days, the primary schools, and nobody knew. Later on, so you just like, hey, you guys, kumbe it was so son. So for us, we have that angle. Then now, luckily, social media came when we were a bit grown, though it has not saved us from that pandemic of keeping up with the Joneses, because we also have those people who are really trying to keep up and getting themselves into problems. I feel like because and for girls now, the life that people have decided is success is you are just some girl seated somewhere or you're lying down on a yacht somewhere and you have the bubblies and there's this command.
But that's a nice looking life, right?
Yes, it's nice. It feels nice, but it's not sustainable, one, and it's not realistic.
How so?
So then you find, now we give an example of the Diddy case. So you see these girls that we were always admiring suddenly telling us what actually happens. Because I think even in this whole idea of wanting, quote unquote, the soft life, you don't even realize where you could get it from. Like even if you said, I want to get it from a man, then you think it's a rich man. But rich is not a personality trait. Yes, I have money, but it can be very wicked. Yeah, so you find that a lot of these people who have that kind of money are not very nice people. So you get yourself into that situation, and then you're doing things for money that nobody can even understand. In fact, somebody the other day I saw on one of the TikToks was calculating, because one of the ladies who was testifying said that this guy would make her do all these things and would give her 10,000 USD per month. And this lady was like, I could actually make more than 10,000 USD per month. Yeah, doing work that I can look at myself in the mirror afterwards. Yeah. So some of these things you get into fast and not really realize. I'm not trying to say that the women who got themselves into that problem were necessarily looking for money. I'm saying that there are very many evil people that can dangle things in your face. And if you don't define for yourself what success is early, then you'll be in a lot of problems. So it is very important for us, even me at this age, I'm 46, and I still have to keep redefining what success is to me, not to everybody, because you realize that there are some things that's chasing the wind. There are some things I'm not willing to do for whatever it is other people are doing. My mother used to tell us all the time, don't envy somebody's things because they might tell you what they do. And you're like,
utakubali kuzikwa kwa bibi siku. Utakubali.
For 3 days. And you're there with a kanyoka and I don't know what to say it, a lizard, Yeah. So you find that very many people do very many strange things. We need to change actually what it is, what's your idea of success. Yes, it's good to have money because money gives you freedom. But I might not get 20 million today. It doesn't mean that I must live the life of 20 million now. Yeah, you can stagger yourself. Yeah, and actually really think about some of these things, which we don't. Yeah, so I find that people move with a lot of immaturity, and some of these things again lead to things. Remember, we were discussing the last time things around even bleaching. You're seeing somebody that you want to bleach so that you can get men. When they're dark-skinned girls who are also getting men, so you're think about it fast. Before you move, just take some time. Take some time, kidogo, and then think about it. Yeah.
But how am I going to think about it, Felly? Felly mommy. How am I going to think about it when all my friends, another one is in Paris, mwingine ako Mykonos, mwingine ako sijui Zanzibari. These girls are driving G-Wagons. They're my age mates. Na hawaniingishi kwa sababu mi sijui for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But why? So how am I, a girl like me, how am I going to control this kind of situation and how I'm feeling? Am I going to stop being friends with them? And
you can only control your inside.
So tell me a little bit about that.
You can only control your inside. You can't control outside. One, of course, they're not our kuingishi because maybe they know that this one you can't do. Yeah, you can't do. You'll be taken. You'll be like, nani.
Yeah.
It was not this that I wanted. Yeah. But you must really realize that life is yours. I think this is one of the things we must really understand. Today, earlier, one of my daughters was saying that I should be happy that they didn't get pregnant as teenagers. I'm like, Nani, I can't be happy that you are doing the right thing. Yeah, at some point, it is your life. It's only I only manage you until a certain point. After that, you figure that thing out for yourself. Yeah. So if you want to get pregnant, my friend, it's your body. Yeah. We are not joined here. Me, I've got my children. I can show you my children. Here they are. Yeah. So we need to get to that point where we realize it's your life. Bobbie, it's your life. When you go to sleep and wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and you are with your own thoughts, it's your life. Yeah. Yes, who doesn't want a range or whatever it is, but you want to do those things those people are doing. Can you do those things those people are doing? Can you sustain that life those people are doing?
Because it's not a one-off thing.
It's not
you kind of have to keep doing
and sometimes you go and do something to get money, and half the money used to go and get treated for whatever it is that they did to you. I remember there was a story like that online another time where this girl says, her friend says to her, let's go to Dubai. I know this guy's all expense paid trip. We're going to have this good time. You don't worry. We will get a man. Because like this chick was like, all I need is a boyfriend. She's thinking, that naive, whatever you're thinking, if I have a rich boyfriend, he will support this life. It's really that you have the one. You need to have a number of them to support that type of life. So anyway, they go to Dubai, and then this other friend of hers, one day they're in the mall and some guy comes and says, oh, I like you, whatever. You're looking at that, you want it, I'll buy it for you, take it, take 3, take 5. Oh, this is my driver, he'll come and pick you later on and we bring you for dinner. So he takes her, she's taken for dinner. The next day, he'll pick you, shop whatever it is you want, and the girl can't believe the life. She's like, and she's telling her friend, then it's this easy. And they're picking all the whatevers. And then in the evening, she's told, oh, he'll come and pick you. We're going to my yacht later on, and we are going on a cruise or whatever it is. There's a party.
Nice.
And
nice.
And she's just like, oh my God, how come you didn't tell me earlier? She's telling her friend, wow. So she's picked in the evening. She goes to that yacht in the evening, only to realize there are some 10 of those Arab men, and she's the only one. And they started doing her things that she cannot even explain to anybody, putting things in all holes. And she, at some point, she's even now throwing up and whatever, and saying how she'll have them arrest or whatever. They throw her in the ocean so that she thinks about her life a bit, then picks out of the ocean. So are you ready now to do whatever it is you want to do? And they do whatever it is. And, they do everything. It is feces, it is urine, it is other body fluids, whatever. So by the time she goes back to the hotel, she tells her friend, and she's paid handsomely. I think she gets 1.something million. I don't know if it was Kenya shillings or whatever it is. It was some good money. And she goes back to the hotel and she tells her friend, why would you do that to me? She said, if I told you, you would not have been able to do. But you've been paid. But you are paid, yes, but half of that money, you have tears and whatnot and whatever. You go back and fix. Yes. Forever. Yeah. There's some people who can manage that. You see, her friend can. Yeah, she just went and put herself back together, and she's like, this money is this money I want. BBC, I think, also did, was it BBC or CNN, did a documentary, and some of those girls were from Kenya. Some of those girls are known to us. And they say they go there, and they do whatever it is have to do, and you come out of there. Even
like famous actresses, like famous actresses, yes. Wanaitwa yacht girls. So do you think this is what these women are doing? Okay, what are these women doing for these men? Do you think it's purely the sexual industry, or do you think there's other things that...
I've not heard of other things that have come out, unless the other things that we know is if you become a drug mule.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, what other things have you had to whatever?
When you took a girlfriend to vizuri to treat you to vizuri.
Because how just think about it also, and once you reach a certain age, you should be able to put some things into play where okay, I got 500 bob. If I use it all and I don't do anything, I won't get another 500 bob, isn't it? So where is this man getting money that he's just giving you and it's not coming back? So yes, yeah. Where's it coming? Yes. What business is that she's doing? Yes, and what business is that he's doing that you can't do? That's why he has 10 of his friends there. Everybody paid to show up. Yeah, everybody paid to be on that yacht. Yeah, and you paid for exclusivity and to do all the crazy things that you cannot tell your wife or real girlfriend to do or whatever it is. So you paid a premium amount. Yeah, and so when you go back the next time, it's coming from where? Which job is that somebody does? If you've done any business and put money together, which job is that?
Even a real businessman is not giving you
that money like that. No, that is why it's never just me and you. It is a freak off. It's a whole bash. It's a whole whatever, because it's money being pulled together. Yeah, or then now you become a mule so that you deliver the drugs, you get the money. As in, it has to make, any business must have a return on investment. You cannot be the only business that your work is just to sit. It only comes, it doesn't return.
Giving girls money.
It just goes like this. Where does it work? Yeah. So all these things are good. And I think some of these experiences, you can experience maybe once in a lifetime. How many times do people save up and go to Dubai and just have an experience? But it can't be a way of life.
Every week.
It can't be every week.
Let me tell you, I won't pretend. Sometimes it really, really makes me feel like, okay, it used to. Now I have better confidence. But I used to be so stressed. Naingia Instagram. Kila mtu na follow. Ako somewhere traveling, eating at nice restaurants, wearing designer stuff every day. And I didn't grow up rich. So me seeing this reality actually makes me wonder. Sometimes it could come from, envy and jealousy, because you're wondering, why is it not me? Wanna see me na experience hizi vitu.
Yes.
But then again, you start to think, now as you grow older, you think,
hey, kwani which man is this that me I can't get?
No, pia mimi nakatiwa na watu wako na pesa.
Yeah.
Lakini,
but it's not,
It's
not a sustainable thing. And then the other thing also is you can also get these nice things, but now you have to be smart about it. No one says you cannot wear a nice dress. You can actually get that designer dress at second hand. We call it mutumba, other people call it thrifting. Yeah, and it'll still be a nice dress that you wear.
Instagram. How will I do an unboxing?
And you see, that's the other thing also, where we have to start making realistic content. Yeah, where I say, you know what? I went to Gikomba today in the morning. I was looking for a wrap type of dress, and I got this. I got a DVF, I got this, I got this type of dress, I got this, and it was only 1,000 bob. let's be realistic. Why are we lying to each other that I got it for 20,000 and half the time these days we know even their dupes. At least Shikoa his style these days is helping us. That's the thing somebody's telling you, if I don't know what bag it costs 100,000. Yes, you check when you Google it's 100,000. Yes, but she is not telling you she got a dupe. Yeah. So let's make realistic content, and then the other thing is just because it is. It doesn't have to be expensive to be stylish. You can't buy fashion. A fashion sense.
You can't buy style.
You can't buy style, yeah. So put your things together, have your own style, yeah. So that unboxing can be and paper bagging from your from your haul. And you put it together and it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good. Because at the end of the day, for me, I think the biggest thing is, can you look at yourself in the mirror? And can you tell yourself the truth? You don't even have to go telling everybody the truth. Just tell yourself the truth. Some of these things women are going through just to show that they are having a good time. I'm wondering, what time do you have a good time when you're spending time performing for us? Because you could even be at the beach every month if you wanted to. Get on to the SGR. Yeah, and you get to the coast, you'll get Airbnbs for 2,500, 3,500 per night. Sometimes you can even get maybe 5K bed and breakfast at a hotel by the beach, depending on the season. Go there with your different outfits and take 10 pictures. Nobody's going to beat you.
You're there.
You don't even have to cheat.
Yeah,
listen, you're just.
Really
it's real. This is content I'm creating. I don't have to. I don't have to make you people feel some kind of way for it to be good content. Why can't it be relatable? I tell you guys, Nani, I'm off to Diani, or I'm off to Malindi, or I'm off to Mombasa, and I like there's some people who create that type of content and say, okay, I went to Mombasa with 20,000 shillings, and they tell you, okay, I took the SGR or I took this bus. What you have to do is A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. Get there. This is where I stayed. They give you the contacts if you like. Then you take nice pictures and you say, I had a good time, and it's content. Yeah. So if I put a clip today, I put another clip tomorrow, I put another whatever, and for the rest of the month, I have a whole content for the month, and I'm getting my views and I'm getting my followers. Why do I have to get to a position to be making you people feel some kind of to come with me as I shop for 900,000 and you're a thief? One day I've been caught. Come at I'm going to buy a house cash. Did you have many billions? Next thing, you've been called by DCI, you've been called by who? Yeah. You know that. So let's not be in the living my life, and living a good life doesn't mean giving somebody pressure. There's something wrong with if my goal is to give you pressure. My goal is to live a good life. And hopefully somebody else will see and say, oh, I could also do that. Yeah, and you come to me and I say, yeah, I went to Coast. I got this, what do you call it? This discount. If go on these days, go during the week. Maybe you don't have a conventional 9 to 5. So what's stopping you from going to Coast on Tuesday to Thursday?
As you're speaking, my next question was gonna be, how these people who are living that life where you are to peer pressure. I was gonna say, what if that's their real life? But then I realized,
yeah,
it can't be their normal life if they're performing. And even if they're not performing, let's say they're not performing, they are in a way because they're doing it for us on social media. I've also realized, hanging around, richer people, that the richer you get, the more private,
the silent you become. Yes.
You don't want people in your business like that. You're not out here doing
the most
hauls for your designer stuff. You're a bit more cautious about who's watching, who's looking.
Yes, yeah. And you can even still be creating content, but it's tastefully done. You see, I find it so strange when I think a lot of us display our poverty mindset. Bobby, I got this for 500. Bobby, I got this for 1,000. Nani, why? If I'm used to it, I don't have to tell you. Bobby, I'm wearing a bra. See, I'm wearing a bra. I don't have to feel the need that you guys, hi, I'm wearing a bra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not something you're used to.
Because if you're used to, it's just a bottle.
Yes. It's a bottle, calm down.
Woo, okay.
Just whatever. Unless somebody says, oh, I like that, can you plug me? Yeah. So I think let's create realistic content. As I said, if you wake up with the sole intention of giving people pressure to show that you have reached somewhere, then I don't even think you are enjoying your life.
Do you think wanatupea pressure ama ni sisi tuna watch tukihate? Tukishanga evudema kwa Mykonos tena. Huyo anadinywa. Do you think it's us who...
you can be in that Mykonos every day if you like. Yeah, because again, that's what I'm saying. Everybody can go. I can't remember who said that everybody can actually travel. Yeah, it now depends on what, depending on where you are in life. Do you have to save for a bit? It needs more planning. Maybe you have kids or whatever. It needs more research. Maybe you're looking for, I might want to go to that Mykonos, but I get somewhere else that's not as expensive as a certain hotel. So I can sleep here in the morning, wake up, and go and have breakfast at the hotel. And then take some nice pictures and whatnot. So you can experience in everything. Yeah, I'm not saying that everybody who posts is trying to make everybody's life difficult, but it's not hard to spot those who are...
The difference between someone who's used to it and someone who's...
Yeah.
I hope that you are enjoying that episode, people of the internet. Everybody says there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their own town, in their own city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call fathers, but there are no jobs, right? Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them. I have worked for a long time online, I think more than 10 years. I work for Americans, I work for Europeans, I work for the Chinese, the Australian, Canadians, the Ugandans, name all of them. And last year, I had a eureka moment. I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I have been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a book called Goldmine, 18 Side Hustles for Africans. And it sold a lot of copies. In fact, I was going for, sometimes I was receiving 500 orders in a day. In 2025, something happened. AI came. I think in 2025, AI came. AI came in 2024, but in 2025, it is here with us. And people say AI is taking away their jobs. And for me, I'll say false. There are actually AI jobs. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. We now have in my book 25 online and offline side hustles that you can do anywhere in the world, whether you are in the village, whether you are in your small town, whether you're in a marketplace, whether you are in your house, you can do them. In this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance, drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I have made and lessons I have learned over 15 years in this online job market. You can become an executive assistant to busy folks in Europe, America, and Canada. You can also get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. There are many of them, and they're in my book. You can also build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce without a shilling. You can also become an affiliate marketer or an online English tutor. And you can also do tens of AI jobs, and they're all in these books. If you have a job, that is fine, but I know around you there are so many people that are always looking for jobs and at home watching Netflix. Buy this book for your brother, for your sister, for your mother, cousin, husband, who is back at home all day, all night watching Netflix. Okay? Buy it for your friend, that friend who is always asking you for cash. You can buy this book for them. All the information is in the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or you can go to my website, which is oduorjagero.co.ke. The book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. Or if you're anywhere around the world, the book is $10. So thank you very much. Back to programming.
It's not hard to post that. It's not hard. And these days people have a lot of strange talks online. You know, siku kwa nyumba kama sufuria. I mean, what's your problem? I'm in the house.
Just chilling.
I didn't do anything to you, you know. But that's what I'm saying. But because again, the whole point of the internet, of creating content for the online community, because is to be able to one, inspire. I hope that's why people do these things, is to inspire somebody. There's some content people create that are lifelines for other people. There are people who wake up and think, I need to watch this person because they give me hope. Yeah, they were once where I was, and I'm seeing them move and grow with their lives, that type of thing. So I would think the whole idea is to inspire. Yeah, by the things you do, the things you overcome, the things you create. Yeah, so that way, then it would make sense. But if we are creating content where younger people, especially, start feeling like they must do anything and everything to have that life, then there's a problem. Then I think we owe it to people to say the truth. Yeah, now I say 20.
But nobody's gonna say that.
Yeah. But you see, the worst thing is that sometimes it comes out, like in the Didi case. Who would have thought? Yeah, in the we have seen different people actually online who.
But we can also just see. I know this girl doesn't have a job, or boy. I know this person doesn't have a job. They have no clear line of income. They're not coming from wealth, but they're consistently living this lifestyle that is very unattainable for someone that would be of their caliber.
Yeah.
So we're able to tell.
It's not making sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it does. But as we said, let's be careful with the idea of soft life. And most importantly, let's decide for ourselves what's our idea of success. Otherwise, even without anybody giving you pressure, somebody can also just be posting for the sake of posting, and you get sick. Because you're sick. Yeah, you're getting sick. You have to, and it's all things, and it's not only just content for like travel content, lifestyle content, even financial content. You have somebody coming there and telling you, hey, if you're using more than a third of your salary to pay rent, you are broke or you are doomed or whatever. And in Nairobi, we would like those theories. We would like them. You know, the way you write at a third of, because how many people, if you earn 20,000, what is a third of your salary? And where would you be staying?
You get that house?
Exactly, if you earn even 100,000 shillings, So, and you find that very many people are just trying to make it through life. A lot of those things they tell us are theories. Yeah, you are an adult, you live life, that this, like, things you can plan the best. Like somebody said, we plan, but life laughs at us. You can plan, you can have the best plan. A lot of us are one hospital bill away from complete poverty. Yes, a lot of us are, and we cannot all be the same, because where is this that people are getting? You can't just come online and tell people you must make sure you earn this much, and a third must go this, a third must go there. Where is that job?
Where is it coming from?
Where is that job? Even those people who right now are in business, go and talk to anybody who does business. It's hectic. By the time that business starts making sense, it's been like 7 years.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. And now it's breaking even. You are real even. How many people run business even 20 years and you never break even? You're just moving money around like this. It's just a merry-go-round. You get from here, you put here. This one can hold on for 20 days. You take again here, take there. That's how people have been living life. And it's not because that's what we want or what we would expect. We were thrown into somebody else's world. We were busy herding goats, Nani. And eating chicken and eating 1 meal a day, and planting maize, So a lot of the content, you can give yourself pressure for nothing. Yeah. So just be thankful you have something to eat, you manage to pay your rent, whatever. Start from there. Okay, thank you. Then now, what do I do to get to the next situation? A lot of people create content for the views, for the...
I think that's what they do primarily. They're not thinking, I'm here to inspire. They're thinking, I have numbers to meet.
Yes, I want to meet numbers. Then one day when I have this many followers, then I'll just be going around telling people nonsense in the name of motivational speaking. But you are actually... There are some people who are very unmotivated after listening to you.
Now that I think about it, if they're posting for views, they're posting to make money, right?
Everybody's trying to make money.
So then they don't have the money that
they are telling you to have.
Posting.
Maybe some people have. And you see, somebody else also said, don't compare yourself to somebody who has support. You cannot be. That's why this thing is so personal. Success is so personal. You cannot say, I want to be like, or put a blanket that by the time you reach 40, you must have done this. At 30, you should have done. All those things are so personal because there's somebody who comes from a two-parent home where you don't have to parent. Your mother can say, you sit here until it might not even be a mansion, but that you're a 3-bedroom somewhere in Buruburu. Your mother lets you stay for free. You eat, you sleep. Nobody will ask you for anything. So even if you're earning 20K, you are different from somebody who's earning 100K, but they pay their own rent and they pay their own food and yes, and they have their parents somewhere who are whatever. Yes, everything is on their head. He could even be earning 200,000, but he has parents who are sick. Maybe he has siblings who he has to pay fees for. He has a house; he's paying his own house rent, whatever it is. So things are so different that when somebody comes on and says, if you have 20,000 in the bank, you are poor. If you're earning at this much and your rent is less than, those people are just talking out of their ass. Because very rarely, in fact, even sometimes when you find somebody who's staying in a house that is 90 Gs, you might find that it's not a third of his salary. It's more than. It might be half his salary. Yeah. But for him, he has told himself, because again, remember we said things are personal. He could have told himself, listen, I'd rather pay this 90 Gs because it is walking distance from my children's school. So now I don't have to deal with school bus. Yes. My children don't have to wake up at 5 in the morning. But so they'll be waking up at 7 and then I might not need to pay school lunch because they walk back and they will eat lunch and walk back to school. So I'm not even thinking about that. So it's only me to travel to work, So there's so many things that go into making your life decisions that are not as simple as a third of your salary. Where do you want me to stay, Nani? In Kibera, in a shack, because that's what I can afford according to you.
That salary.
So you cannot live based on all these statistics, and some of them. The worst thing is that some of them are not even carried out here. You can hear somebody comes up with something in the States and then comes and thinks it translates to us. Yes, it doesn't. And even some of the statistics must be taken in context. I remember, I don't know if it was last year, the year before last, where they said a certain number of people only in Kenya earn over 100,000, and I think most of them were women. And everybody started, women now earning more money and they're still asking men for money, blah, blah, blah. What do you bring to the table? Everybody was talking. But it is so daft because when you think about it, very many women are risk averse. So women would not necessarily start business as the only form of revenue. Even if you'll end up in business, you'll almost always start up employed, then move on to business. Because again, we are risk averse not because we are always scared, but because a lot of responsibility usually falls on us. Yes. You're thinking about the kids, you're thinking about your parents, you're thinking about your siblings, and you're thinking all these people that I'm carrying, I must really make sure that there's something I can run to.
It's not just financial, it's emotional. It's emotional,
And so people think women make good employees. No, because most of the time we are fearful. You really need that. So you'll find a woman staying somewhere for 30 years. It's not a good job, but it's because she gets 100,000. And she will sit there. Yeah? So even when we get certain statistics, you can't just wake up and take it as is. It must be in context. Otherwise, I can't say anything. 3 out of 2 men are gay. Because I see them sitting next to each other every day. So you have to again now, as you've got it, 3 out of 2 sit with men every day. Okay, why? They're in the bar, they're watching sports. You can now have other things. So I think let's go slow. Because a lot of people are hurting and for nothing. You now get a situation where many people are afraid to ask for help. Many people are afraid to just say the truth that, hey, shit. Because somebody says that you can't be this age and you have debt. You should have 12 months from when my mother died, my sister did what, who got married, who went abroad, all that. So you cannot be all the same. So you find people feeling some kind of way.
Inadequate.
And there are very many people right now dying by suicide, men especially. And it's all this pressure of things that nobody even understands. So you are thinking you're a failure.
Because you didn't buy a designer bag.
Yeah, you didn't buy a designer bag. You don't have 6 months salary in your whatever. You have never gone to Greece. you don't have medical insurance. You're using shisha and others and Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
But in reality, you're just having a human experience, and many people are, and it is okay.
That's so true. What do you think is pushing a lot of women especially towards, chasing this soft life? Why do you think that's what we need right now? Because even in the discussions that the discourse going on online, when I see a lot of the reasons when you ask men, why aren't you actively dating? They'll say things like, women are expensive now, they need these things. And even if you hear about relationship issues, this thing gets mentioned a lot where men talk about, it's because anasikiza mabeshte zake, ananikompea na sijui chali yake beshte yake alifanyia udem nini, udem anafikiria pia mimi naweza mfanyia. So what do you think it is amongst us women that is forcing us to want this idea of success instead of realizing, hey, I can personalize this success for myself? Maybe success to me means I've paid my rent.
Yeah.
I have food today. My kitten is happy. He has his vaccines have been taken. My mom is healthy wherever she is. That's my idea of wealth. But for someone else, they really have to be seen on Instagram with that G-Wagon.
Yeah.
Or they really have to show up to that party with a new dress that nobody has ever seen them with.
And nobody asked them.
Or they have to... or we have to be in Mykonos this summer. So what do you think? Nini inafanya sisi madem sana maboy pia wanafanya, lakini leo tunaongelea madem. Nini inafanya tunataka hii soft life hivyo? Na ni hii one idea of soft life.
Yes.
Hii tu moja ya
people are
having
not very
a white couch.
They're not imaginative.
Having a mirror in the
in fact,
room,
I thought it was now orange. It didn't become orange. The couch didn't become orange. It keeps changing. We're not very imaginative.
Tumefanya nyumba white, sasa tunaenda orange.
Tuko na orange, the same TV stand, na kale camera
in the corner of the room. Everyone has the same house.
Thing. Yeah, I think we need to be more creative. I mean, we can't be in this life, all of us, to be uniform. I think the way you live your life is expression. Self-expression is art. And a lot of us maybe don't know that we can actually... Because the many things you could do without just thinking that life is just lying down somewhere on a yacht, the same yacht that you saw in a DD video is the one you want to see. There should be more than that to life. I think a lot of people are not giving themselves a chance, giving themselves a chance to dream. And I think maybe because people are not reading as much as they used to do. We used to read a lot. So you have a lot of ideas of what could happen if you tried something. There's you reach to different corners of the world. Reading is so inspiring. It's so, it really... You can really get into and I give an example. It's a very simplistic one, but it's one that for me I held on for very long. When we were in school, we were reading The Concubine. We did a lot of West African set books, so there was a lot of fufu and fish in the. And a lot of our literature lessons would be before lunch. So we'd just be there dreaming of fish and fufu. I'd never eaten fufu. I just knew it was from cassava, but I'd never eaten. So when I was like, then I could make this fufu at home. So we have cassava because we eat a lot of cassava. So I was just like, oh, maybe it just has to be mashed. and it didn't taste like the dreams. But because for me, I just like, see, just put water and you. Yeah. I don't know what else. I should actually find out what fufu really tastes like. So
if you make it, please invite me because we're neighbors.
Making it, I will not make. We will go and look for a Nigerian restaurant and go and eat. Okay. But making, I'm not doing. Yeah. So can you imagine now that? So we're not imagining things. We've never given our brains that chance to run beyond Bobbie's white couch and the mirror. And it's so unfortunate because we live in a time when we all have so much information at the palm of our hand, all the information. I was telling my kids when we were young and you had to do research, you went to the library, you went to town. to the library.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and you sat there and you are looking from one book to this. These days you just say to Google,
Hey,
then you
Siri.
ChatGPT will read for you the whole book. You tell her, give me whatever quotable quotes.
Yeah.
For us, we would do even research on an author of a certain book. You are in the library. You don't even know what you're looking for, but
So
you must.
don't know what it looks like.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't even know where to start, and you're just hoping that you're in the right place, and you just move from one corner to the next. Yeah. So you have a lot of information. You could move so far. Give yourself that space to know other things, because as you know those other things, then you also know yourself. Kumbe, you don't like white couches. You might like those, what do they call those, wick chairs or something, or a rocking chair or whatever, But how will you know if you don't give yourself a chance?
But I saw Bobbie posting her white couch.
And that's the other thing. You're an individual
influencer,
which is okay. And you see, because you're my favorite influencer, you're supposed to inspire me. I'm not supposed to be your copy. Yeah,
I should inspire you to want to do things your way.
Yes, because I can see you with something, but I might not get the exact thing. I might think, actually, I could use a couch, but I don't like that style. My style is more this style, and you then, because then that means you're getting something from it. Otherwise, if you're copying, then you're mediocre. And like the way they say, flattery is what sense of imitation is the best
form
of flattery. That mediocrity gives greatness or something like that. It has a full whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I wish we could get the full whatever now. But so actually, if you think you're thinking you're flattering somebody by copying them, you're actually showing how mediocre you are. So we're different people. Yeah, we're different people. You have different ideas. Explore those ideas. I don't know why we're so scared of being individuals. I don't know why we're so scared of living our truth. Yeah, and I think if we're able to do that, then we would not be in this space of everybody wants the exact same soft life. Because soft life can be you somewhere in the village, under a tree, eating a fresh mango, lying down under a tree, drinking water from, and that is soft life, drinking water from a pot. You know the way that pot water is so nice.
Oh, you just reminded me that feeling.
It is nice. It's heavy. So soft life doesn't have to be what one person said soft life is. It can be anything. I think young women need to stop living for the gaze. And just do your thing. Yeah. Because the day you realize how short time is, and then you realize you spent 2 years trying to be like Bobbie, who doesn't know you. you know?
True.
Yeah. And you were not living your life. And sometimes you even accept to yourself, actually, I don't even like sushi. But because everybody's doing sushi, actually, I want to eat sushi. I want to eat crabs. I want to eat. When you know you love ugali and fish, tilapia, sushi. Yeah. So let's get to that point where our biggest thing is to want to live our own lives. Find out what our purpose is. And whatever it is, and your purpose doesn't have to be, I want to conquer Mount Everest, or I want to end world hunger. It could just be,
I want to stay alive.
Yes. It could just be mastering yourself. Just saying, I just want to master. And you never know where that will take you. And it might also not take you anywhere. Yeah. So it should never be for the gaze. It should always, you should be your number one audience. That's it. Yeah.
So these girls who, now I want us to talk to these girls who are specifically pandering to the male gaze by, let's say, offering sex up for a softer life. And it is working. I mean, for them, currently, let's be honest, you'll see these girls and they look nice. Yeah. They're dressing nice. They're hot. Yeah. They're going to all these things, Pilates, yoga, hot yoga, gym, they're dressing in those nice clothes and they're driving those nice cars. But what they have to give in return is a wet crack. And sometimes all the wet orifices, depending on whose yacht you're on.
Exactly, yeah.
So what would you say to them specifically? Because ude maybe ametoka poverty ni maisha hajaishi, so ndo maana inamshock. Na maybe hajui anaweza jichoose, anaweza jipenda, like anaweza tu fanya vitu zake na bado end up na soft life. Because I feel like it also takes away from, the women who are doing a normal 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
These women who are doing the 9-to-5s are thinking they will never be able to experience this kind of wealth in their lifetime while they're watching. And I'm not saying any side is okay. I'm not saying 9-to-5 is bad or sleeping with men for money is bad. But I'd like for you to just maybe talk to these two camps of women. The women who are doing things the right way and you see they're saying, I'll never make it out of here, I'm struggling, I'm suffering. And these women who are sleeping with men for money.
So I want to start with women who think they're doing the right thing. Because
the right thing, Migani.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Those ones who think they're doing the right thing, that you're doing 9-to-5 or whatever it is.
Oh, yes.
Or you're being good. All those things are relative. Somebody said that being good doesn't guarantee anything. In most cases, you might finish last. Rather work hard on being aligned to what it is you are supposed to do. Because remember, our idea of being good is a social construct. And especially for us in this part of Africa, with all the religion that we have, the foreign religion and all the other Western influence, our idea of good is not,
different.
Yeah. So rather work on being aligned to your purpose.
How do you
I'm
mean by
learning that.
aligned?
Knowing what it is you want to do. So when my mom was young, she says, like, even my dad wanted to be a musician. And for him, he thought that was his purpose in life. But who are you going to tell? You wanted to be a musician. Unless you are a failure in those days, you were not going to. In whose house? They wanted to be. Yeah. So remember, they had certain whatevers. You are a doctor, you are an engineer, you are a lawyer. You had certain whatevers. And you fall into here. If you can't, then now you're a failure. Then you go and be a musician and don't tell anybody. You belong to us. Yeah. But you see, so they did the right. Yeah, thank you. So they did the right thing. But it didn't align with their purpose. Who knows? Okay, he did well with whatever it is that he had to do. Maybe if he aligned with his purpose, he might have been worldwide. Yes. We don't know. Yes. Yeah, so that's why we say, live good, try to align to your purpose as much as you can. You might have to work 9-to-5 for a while to fund that purpose. Yeah, so don't be dim and dizzy thinking that when you are tend to your purpose, everything is going to happen. You still need to eat, Nani. You're not going to explain to your landlord that you are living by your purpose. You should give you time.
I'm trying to be an artist.
Yeah. If you can just focus and bear with me a bit, no. Let's be realistic human beings. So as the thing is to try and align to your purpose as much as possible. If you must work the 9-to-5, work the 9-to-5 to align to your purpose, not to live the life of yachts and I don't know what it is and designer clothes and whatever. No, because unless again that is your purpose, and how you come to that, that's between you and your God and whatever it is you want. Yeah, you are the ones who decide how you decide that is your purpose, whatever your purpose is. So it's never about what somebody else is doing. I think that's where we need to get to. It's never about what Bobbie is doing. You should be able to have friends from different spheres and not feel some kind of way. Yeah, one of your friends, and because life is like that, there are times you're up, times you're down. So you can be a group of 5 girls and one maybe just lost her job, so maybe things might be tough a bit for her for a while, and another one maybe got divorced, never worked a day in her life, now she has been thrown out and she's trying to figure that out. Another one, father was maybe well-to-do, took her to good school, exposed her, she has the correct connections, she's able to make something different of her life. Another one maybe is a hustler, she's been hustling since she was 16, and now it's paying off. As in, you'd always be different, whatever. It should never stop you. You should never feel you are less than or more than because of where you are in life. As you grow older, you realize all these things, you could lose it anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah, it's not
Especially
permanent.
You grow as you see it happening to the people around you.
Yeah, and even for you. And let me tell you, life is like that. You will start over many times. Yeah, you might think you've now finally got it and you wake up in the morning and it's all ashes. And you start afresh. And you can start afresh even at 60. So that's why I say even those things of somebody telling you that, by 60 you should be having all your ducks in a row, you might not even know where those ducks are. But you must, you will, As long as you're alive, there's something you're
find a
supposed to be
way.
doing. Just find out what you're supposed to be doing. So don't be in that space of ever thinking, I'm working 9 to 5, I'm not making it, you are doing what you're supposed to do. Align to your purpose. And once you have that, you'll figure it out. Some of us are figuring out that so late. I wish I was aligned to my purpose from 20. But at that time you are going through everything. I'm going to show them. I'm going to do this. I have this. I must do that. I must. There was always. I'll only be successful if I buy a car. Then you buy the car. Now it is now more problems.
Buy a bigger car.
No, it's not even. You didn't know it had all these problems. You must pay insurance. Sometimes it makes noise, and the noise is expensive. Sometimes somebody hits you. So, as in everything's up. Sometimes now they've decided you have to pay parking where you live, and now you're like Nani. I just thought I needed the car. And if people like
you just needed Uber money.
Thank you. So now you realize, you start realizing that things actually are not, what it is. So once you align to your purpose, then even these other things come as by the way. So I know this is what I want to be. Then now I'll not buy the car because it's part of my success. I'll buy the car because now I need this car to ferry books. You see, I don't need this car as I've reached, because now when it costs money to have that car. Now I need to move to this part of town because of A, B, C, D in my purpose. Like I usually go to this place to do 1, 2, 3. So if I'm nearer here, this will work for me. Or I need this bigger house because I can use one room as a studio, another room I can use as an office and have, do consultations. You understand? It's not, I need a big house so that I can show people I have a house. Because when it comes, then how are you paying for it? Yeah. So those are the that's how we now should start thinking and rewiring. And like I always say, learn from us older ones who made the mistake so that you enjoy your life more instead of then trying to, because you see, like a lot of us now in the 40s, we're saying, this is what I should have done. But if you are 28, you have time. You have over 10 years to get to where I am. So what can you do with that lesson at 28? Yeah. So never be in that position where you think something is happening to you and you should be having that other one. Remember we said
that's really
figure
important.
Out your success. Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah. Figure out your success for yourself. Then everything else you want will come with a certain thing. Otherwise, you'll be getting to what you think is success and it looks like a curse. Because now you've got the car and all these things are like, oh my God, how am I going to fund it? It now becomes another problem. You get the big house, oh my God, how will I pay for this house? Because now the bigger the house, the electricity is more, water is more, this is more,
you have to pay a landscaper.
Yes, yeah. But you are doing it for other people, not realizing, had I aligned myself, then these things, this my success, these are just things. You can now separate. These are things
like
that are helping me.
It's more of a mindset than it is the things that you have and the things you own and the places you
because
go.
These things, you will lose them. What happens? If my car goes, if my house goes, do I stop being successful?
No.
Yeah. Do I stop my purpose? Does everything go with my house? And that is why you see very many people, when they lose a job, then they're finished. Because you never saw yourself beyond that. Success was, I'm going to be a CEO.
Oh my God, I
and
really,
then now
really love this.
Yeah, now it's gone. And you're like, oh my, what am I? I can't do it anymore. And now you want to kill yourself. Because you are using the wrong things to measure success. You are calling the wrong things success. So this again also happens to these other girls who are then now doing whatever it is to show people that they are living.
Yeah, the yacht girls.
Yeah, because I only think, I think that's the only thing you're doing. You're doing it to show people, because why would you go through all that for nothing, just to live your life in a corner? Is it worth it?
I think the thing that asks me a bit, okay, not on a personal level, I'm not bothered by what anyone else is doing, but I think something that in a tradition, especially in this feminism, we are trying to even just be seen as human beings, even hata tujafika kwa equal pay, but tuna fight like, hey, I'm a woman and I'm a human being.
Yes.
I think it sets us back, because once the people who subscribe to patriarchy are able to see they can use this power move to run things the way they want. If I know I can call girls to come and fuck me and then I can give them money, where does that leave us? It's in a to set back years behind. And I want to divide them from the prostitutes. You know, there's the prostitute who
the
that's
sex
just
worker.
a sex worker.
Yes.
This is their job. This is what they're doing. That's different. But these women, you know, who are being pushed into these things, they don't even know if they're going to do prostitution. They have not put a clear label on it. So they think it's just fun in Dubai, but really, who's paying for you to do that for nothing? You know, you kind of pay with your soul and your mind and everything that you have. But please go ahead.
No, and that's why we say you must have sat down with yourself and decided what you can live with. I find very many people say, "Oh, I can live with it," until you can't live with it anymore.
Because even the sex workers are not able to live with it.
No, that is why they are high. That is why they are high every time. Do you know what it? You know, there's a time I wrote that article and people are so irritated where I asked men if they think it's easy to sleep with them.
It's not.
By the time you enjoy sex with a man, you really like that man.
You have to like him.
You really must like that man because many times people are high and you think this chick likes partying, but she's high so she can fuck you. You know. So by the time a chick can sleep with you sober and enjoy that sex, she really likes you. So you imagine you are sitting somewhere and you have to turn on.
Guza guza iamke itaamka.
You have to be high. You can't do it. And that's why very many people are taking substances. So, I mean, we're not here to police you and tell you this is how you should live life. We're not even here to judge you and say you're doing wrong and this is right. Because again, wrong and right are relative. I think for me, I'd say you have your pros and cons. You know what your consequences are. And can you live with it? If you can live with it, I mean, we can't come and beat you. But I think we shouldn't even dwell on some of those people not because they're a lost cause, but because one, they know what they're doing, because they're adults, unless they're children, then we can go and rescue, literally. And that is why it's very important if you have young girls around you, cousins, nieces, goddaughters, whatever it is, especially like teenagers and whatnot, try and always be that aunt who gives like 100 or 200, you know, so they can buy pads or eye pencil or like a lip gloss, and they're not then initiated to that thing where if you need this, and you know that initiation happens kidogo. You go to the shop and the shopkeeper says if he touches you, he'll give you the Vaseline. If he does this, he will give you the whatever. Yeah.
And it starts off innocent.
Very innocent. In fact, the first time, he first of all gives you that like a Vaseline or whatever or a pad. Yeah. You've not asked. And then you, because you are young, you think, I'll just go and get again. When I finish, I'll go and ask again. See, just gave me. Then now we start giving you small conditions. You know, if you do this, if you kuja ukae nitakupatia na Fanta, you know, that type of thing. Yeah. So always be that one where you can give somebody like a 50 bob, like a 100 bob, you know, like a 200 bob, so that she gets used to money. You know, and is able to buy her own small things, and there's some dignity in that, you know. So it's never a case where you think I should trade my body. Yeah, be that for somebody, be that for a girl somewhere. That's really good advice. Yeah, because then it will reduce some of this whatever that we get ourselves into later on in life. Yeah.
Do you believe that there's nothing for free, that there's no man who can, especially when you're dealing with a man, that there's no man who can do anything for free? I ask this because even we see women who are actual wives, you know, that we don't know the reality of their situation in the relationship, but they're living this lavish lifestyle. And these are women we also see online, and I'm thinking, I want to be like Felly. I can see the way her husband is, you know, doing all these things for her. I know you've already said usiangalia ya mtu uanze kutamani, but you know, do you really believe that there's no such thing for free, that there has to be something? I don't know what doing?
I don't know what free is.
Free, by free I mean there's because in a marriage there's still sex.
No, it's not even still sex. Yeah. I'll say this: a man who loves you will do anything for you. Not a rich man, a man who loves you will do anything for you in his capacity. I know that. The way human beings are made, a man will come and lay this at your feet and you'll not be there. Okay. You'll be like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll give something. You'll give your ear. It will not transactional, but it arouses
Natural.
something in you that wants you to do something. Like you will want to be nicer to him. You will hug him. You will listen to him. You'll become softer. Actually, you become softer when a man likes you and you like him. Yeah, and he wants to do whatever it is. And I think also that usually should be one of the
Like a
triggers.
thermometer.
Yes, that you become soft. You don't have your guard on. You don't feel like, oh shit, now I have to fuck him. You know, because this one would give you, and you don't have to fuck him. You would not. You know.
Hakuna hiyo undertone,
Yes, that
I need
something in return. No, it will always be, I will do for you because I love you, because I'm devoted to you. You know, almost, yeah. Because I think love between two people is worship. Yeah, there's always going to be
give and take.
Yeah,
and it's
natural. It's never.
You don't keep score.
Yes,
I gave you
yesterday.
5 times
Yes,
more.
yeah. Yesterday I
Yeah.
said this and you didn't say to me the other. It will always be that type of. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know what for free is, because when you bring free, it means it feels exploitative. Like you want to exploit someone. Give me and I run. You guys do imagine I got for free?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not whatever. So nothing really, if you look at it technically, is free. There's nothing in this world.
Maybe just the relationship with your mother.
Everything is reciprocal, because even your mother at some point, I mean, you've seen cases where, I think this was on TikTok the other day, I don't know why I didn't share it with you, where this mother was literally crying because she has this child, and I don't think it's the child's fault. I think the child has some issues that had not been addressed. So the child will come and maybe pour soil on the food. You know, you have there put food for other children, pour soil, and just does crazy stuff. And this woman had it, and she was like, I hate my own child. I want to give the child away. So you see, still
Limits.
Yeah, there's no relationship that doesn't have reciprocation. Everything must be reciprocated. That's why you breathe in and you breathe out. The yin yang. There is always going to be the flip side of it. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, not really the flip, not opposite, but there's going to be a give and take. There's going to be a reaction for every reaction. There will be a reaction.
That makes a lot of sense. I'd like to wrap up this conversation.
Yes.
I feel like we'll be leaving it at a place where, we'll be making people prod more on their internal thoughts and feelings and ask themselves, am I doing things because I see people doing them, or am I trying to forge a unique route for myself where I can express my creativity?
Yeah.
And okay, my takeaway from this conversation, or what I would like to say to people is, where do I start? Listen, men are not... Girls, make your own money. Make your own money. I think that's the one thing I've had my mom say over and she didn't even have to say it like from her mouth. I've seen her do it herself. And it's put her in positions where she didn't have to beg. She didn't have to be at the mercy of a husband, an employer, or whatever. I've seen her actually rebuild over and over. Lenny, we've lost everything and started again. In her 40s, in her 50s. Now she's in her 50s. So I've seen her do this. And I think maybe having the privilege of being next to a woman like that and seeing her build herself over and over again, inachangia sana to the type of person I am. But what I can say, girls, even if you see me, Robertta, personally posting, I'm in nice restaurants every day, you have to sit and think, I don't always pay for these restaurants all the time. Yeah. Sometimes places will say, come and eat here and, post for us. Or I'll be out with Kina Jagero. Jagero will pay the bill if he's there.
Yeah.
So you're watching me
thinking,
this girl has money and she goes, and it's not that I don't have money. I can't go to these places and I can't pay for these things. But have your own filter where you're able to think for yourself. Like, is this justifiable? Is this... Even if I'm copying her, am I inspired or am I trying to be her?
Yeah.
Because you can't be me. You don't know.
Because trying to be trying to be somebody, there's a problem. Yeah.
You don't know kama music kwa mchanga usiku yote na amka 3 am napewa $500,000 naendelea na maisha. Utakubali kukula manyoya za kuku. Utakubali. So it's actually very difficult. I'd say make your own money. And in making your own money, decenter men from being the center of this you making money. Unless they are like business customers in other ways, not sexually. So I think that's what I'd say. Make your own money. Wacha hizi zingine zikwe bonus. Kama kuna hiyo yacht na umedecide unataka kuenda na inakubamba ya ukweli, then you've made peace with it. Let it come from your heart, not because you saw me doing it and then it's making you do it. Maybe would you like to close for us?
I'd add from make your own money, which is good. I'll also add have nice people around you. Have good people around you where you don't think I must make my own money to protect myself from these people. Because usually that's where women are making their own money. I make my own money, but you still have these very bad people around you. Men are not necessarily bad. There are very many bad ones, but they're not all bad. So have good people around you, people who want to see you grow, people who want to see you grow, people who want to protect you. People who want to love you. Have generous people around you, and it's not just generous in wealth, it's generous in love, compassion, ideas, network, so don't always think that I need a rich man. No, you need good people, because all of us need people. We need good people. So work on you and work on the people around you.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
For this hour, Felly. This has been Robertta Bobbie for Heartfelt with Bobbie, and today we've been discussing the soft life. Is it necessary? Can we all achieve it? Must we all want the same type of success? I hope this conversation leaves you asking yourself these questions and even more. Think about the kind of life you want to lead for yourself. And as Felly amesema, jenga success yako ikuwe tu yako venye wewe unataka. Sisi wote we need white couches in the house and a mirror in the corner. We can be creative.
Can sit on cushions.
It has been Robertta Bobbie and Felly Oyuga. Thank you so much for joining us throughout the hour. Until next time.